There is nothing extraordinary in itself except by man's extraordinary input. There is nothing extraordinary in itself except by man's extraordinary input. That is, you go the extra mile in your disciplined life. You pay the extra price in your diligence. Then the star in you emerges. Remember, we said when we were looking at you from God's mirror that you are a star, isn't it? There are many people here who are potential basketball stars, but they are not. Because what it takes for that star to emerge, they have not subjected themselves to it. They have all the potentials to be football stars. But now he's in the banking industry, so there's no way he can only become a banking star now because he's not in football business. Let's understand it takes sacrifice for the star in you to come out. It takes sacrifice for the star in you to come out. I read the story of a man that is very intimidating. This young man began his business in 1967 with $10,000. And when he was telling his story in 1997, he said for 30 years, he's never gone on vacation. How many years? There are many Nigerians who go on vacation 3 times in a year. You cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot make omelets without breaking eggs. This man built an industry that leveraged $81 billion in annual returns. Turnover. 81 billion. As at that point in time, it was greater than Coca-Cola worldwide. It was greater than IBM, the reigning companies, 1997. It was greater than Rank Xerox. One tiny boy. He travels 200 days in a year abroad on business and makes other domestic trips in his country that made him not only to forget his wife's birthdays and children's birthday, but himself also. He's a believer. So faith is not a substitute for sacrifice. Faith is not what? Because I have taught you faith now. I say, thank God I'm free. Faith is not a substitute for sacrifice. Vision is not a substitute for sacrifice. Sacrifice is a covenant requirement of every kingdom star. For me to live is Christ, Paul said, and to die is gain. That's sacrifice. I would rather die than have anybody make my glorying in Christ vain. That's sacrifice. I'm crucified with Jesus. That's sacrifice. Now see, every star has a story of sacrifice to tell. Every star. For 10 years in Canaan land, in the Faith Tabernacle, I've been out of church 3 times on Sunday morning. How many times? 3 times for 10 years. Oh, that tells you how many vacations I've gone in 10 years. In 20 years in Lagos, I've been out of church 10 times. 20 years. 10 times. 10 times. And they were mostly circumstantial. Flight deregulation, challenge of flight and movement, airplane under maintenance. One little challenge or another. I have friends who have been out and must have been out of their church in 10 years for 1 year, if they sum it up, 1 year. Young Icho was speaking a few months ago, and he said, all my peers were busy, up in Australia, up in Canada, up in Europe, but I settled with my little assignment. And suddenly I watched them fade away. My note for tonight is fresh note. I'm still writing, and I'm going to leave you shortly and go and continue my job and leave you to yourself to do what you like with your life. If you like, leave and go back to your former schedule and be roaming about the street. If you don't improve on where we leave off, you are a failure. That means you need to wake up and invest your time in creating the future you desire. Until you do what others don't do, you will still remain where others are. So important, you have to wake up. Everybody here has to wake up and tell yourself bitter truth and design a new program altogether. And don't let this year end without a schedule for next year that shows that you are a man and a woman on a mission. Yes. Jesus, the most anointed, said, I have come to set fire on the earth. Luke 12, 49 and 50. And what will I if it be already kindled? But I have a baptism to be baptized with. And how am I stretched until it be accomplished? Anyone that desires to have a global impact will pay a global price. You can't have a global impact without paying a global price. And every seed of Abraham is a son and a daughter with potential for global impact. And in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. In thy seed. And if ye be Christ, ye are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. Genesis 22, verses 17 and 18. And Galatians chapter 3 and verse 29. Every child of God is a seed of Abraham with potentials for global impact. Potentials for global impact. Now listen to me. Among the ministries of the prophet is to multiply visions. To do what? Hosea chapter 12 and verse 10. I have spoken also by the prophet, and have multiplied visions and use similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. Hosea chapter 12 verse 10. So prophets are vision provokers. They help you to see what your natural eyes can see, what your natural mind can catch, and let you see that you are not a local entity. You are a man and a woman with the DNA for global impact. You are not here for survival, just earning salary and eating and drinking. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's survival. Impact is about being a positive influence on humanity in your career, in your field. Can you imagine if this crowd here today begin to manifest leadership virtues in tangible dimensions, what Africa will become. Now, sit down there and look at me. Imagine that in this room, maybe we have 30,000 or 35,000 or whatever it is, that 30,000 duplicates of small David in everyone here, 30,000, who have vowed not to be part of corruption, who have vowed not to take what does not belong to them, who has vowed to stay focused on their mission on the earth, who has vowed to maintain integrity in their work. We will choke the devil out of the system. We will. But I have good news for you. There are people here who will manifest greater grace in every dimension than the one you see us manifesting. If they will be willing to pay greater price than we have paid. Until you pay the greater price, you cannot generate greater values. Until you pay the greater price, you cannot generate the greater values. For whatsoever a man sows, that also shall he reap. So what is waiting for you in the future is your investment to your life today. But I must tell you this, God has spoken to me and I believe him, that in my lifetime I will see multitudes among you operating in our very class. And as the Lord liveth, he also promised me, I will see greater grace in my lifetime coming from among you. I therefore cause every yoke of the wicked from off your life.